right, we're going to practice doing multiplication of decimals on grids. And I'm going to start with 8/10 times 3/10 and just show you very quickly how easily you can multiply decimals on a grid. So basically you take the first factor, which is 8/10, and you're going to start at the top of your grid and you're going to fill in 8/10. So I'm just going to highlight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I have represented my 8/10. Now to multiply that by 3/10, I'm going to start in the same box where I started for the 8/10, but this time I'm going to go horizontally and I'm going to shade in 3/10. So I'm going to start here and go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the goal here now is to see what is shaded in both yellow and blue. So your job now is to go and kind of make a box around the part that's double shaded. So I would go here, 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 and here. And if you count exactly what you have shaded, you now have 24 of the smaller boxes shaded. So remember, the smaller boxes are equivalent to hundredths. So 8/10 times 3/10 is 24 hundredths. I'll go ahead and do one more. I'll skip down here to the 4/10 times 3/10. So remember, we start off with shading. Let's get my highlighter back. You're going to shade 4/10 first. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to go and shade 3/10 going horizontally. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to make a box around the part that is shaded with both colors. So this amount right here. And if you count that up, you have 12 of the smaller boxes shaded, and we know the smaller boxes are each equal to 1/100th. So the answer to that is 12 hundredths. When you divide decimals on a grid, it's very similar to multiplying decimals on a grid, but there is one difference. When you think about division, you are putting things into groups. So basically what we're going to do is take the number that we are dividing, so in the first case it would be 24 hundredths, and we're dividing it into groups of 3 hundredths. Okay, so I'm going to start the same way as I started with multiplying. I'm going to start off by shading 24 hundredths. So I'm going to start at the top, and that's 10, 20, 4. So I've just represented 24 hundredths. Now, this is where it looks a little different. I'm dividing it by 3 hundredths, which means I'm putting my 24 hundredths into groups of 3 hundredths. So you're basically going to take your pen or your pencil and go through the shaded part and box around groups of 3. And remember, it's 3 hundredths. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my pen is not cooperating, as you can tell. So basically I have 8 groups of 3 hundredths. Now notice it's not 8/10, it's not 8 hundredths, it's 8 groups of 3 hundredths that are boxed. Let's try one more. Same story here. I'm going to take 32 hundredths. So I'm going to shade that in first. So I have 10, 20, 32. So I've represented my 32 hundredths. Now I'm going to take my pencil or my pen, and I'm going to divide that 32 hundredths that's been shaded into groups of 8 hundredths. So here is my first group. That's 8 hundredths. Here is my second group. My third group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my last group. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 8 hundredths. So 32 hundredths divided by 8 hundredths equals 4.